Thank you so much, sir, for your time today. Sir, to begin with, can you just give us more details about this program where SPC is distributing seeds to the victims of tropical cyclone Winston? Can you give us more details about this, please, to begin with?
Bulvanaka, and thank you for the opportunity. The European Union has been funding this project that SPC has been providing in around the West, basically trying to get farmers to diversify beyond just sugarcane, so they're growing vegetables, for example, papaya, tomatoes, and so on. And yesterday we went around visiting all the nurseries and the farms. We're supporting 17 at the moment, 17 farms and nurseries, another 5 in the pipeline. And basically we have them grow seedlings of the common staples, as I said, tomatoes, eggplant, and so on. And we're going to be distributing the seedlings, the European Union and the Pacific Community, through the ministry, the Fiji government officials, to the communities, to other farmers, and so on. The idea is that we want to get families and communities back producing their own food staples as quickly as possible. We have 45,000 seedlings ready to go, but we're working with the government officials. In 6 to 7 weeks, we'll have another over 200,000 more seedlings, and 6 to 7 weeks after that, we'll have another over 200,000 seedlings ready to be distributed. It's really important that people feel supported to get back into their normal lives as quickly as possible. So that's essentially what we're doing. The other important part is for the Pacific community. We develop in the lab these saltwater resistant, pest resistant seedlings as well, plantlets like kumara, and this time we have about 100,000 of those little plantlets of kumara to be distributed as well.
So how much funding are we talking about here, sir?
You mean the funding for this?
Yeah.
It's an ongoing project, so we're just continuing the project, if you like, but in response to Cyclone Winston, we are concentrating the distribution of the seedlings to the farmers. Remember that we've been doing this for a few years already. We've been working with the farmers. Yesterday, we went to 3, I think. One is a nursery producing the seedlings, 2 farms where the farmer is getting the seedlings from the nursery and growing them and supplying the exporters or selling them at the market and so on. So it's an ongoing project, if you like, but we're diverting this to meet the immediate needs as a result of the damage to crops and things.
So what sort of crops or vegetables or whatever it is are we talking about here, the seedlings?
We're talking about the normal staples, we call them. Obviously I mentioned kumala, but tomatoes, papaya, capsicum, beans, common vegetables that people use normally.
So obviously it's the food security perspective that SPC is looking at here.
Oh, absolutely, food security issue, but also to try and get families and communities back as near normal as possible. That's why we're selecting those staple crops that are ready in a short period of time. Promandala, of course, is 8-9 months. Kumala is 3 months. So we're very careful in selecting those things that are ready within a short period of time, so people can be self-sufficient as quickly as possible.
So have you done any assessment sort of thing to ascertain perhaps the extent of damage to the crops in the areas that you probably are looking to distribute these seeds?
Our team working on the project have been in touch with the farms and nurseries that we are supporting, and there's a variable degree of damage. One farmer who produces dalo leaves for export, the whole thing is destroyed. Some others, minimal damage. So we know, and we are completing the assessment of the nurseries and farms that we support, and it's variable, as I say, some really badly damaged. But we're confident with our team here and with the farmers, we can get most of them up and running in about a week again.
Mm-hmm. So, this is quite a unique step, I would say, from SPC. While most of the concentration right now is in distributing rations to the victims, SPC has actually gone out of the way in doing something different, don't you think?
Well, we're not a humanitarian organization,
Mm-hmm.
right? We can't respond to people who need medical help or immediate, but we provide a very important next step. Remember, this is about getting people as quickly as possible back into doing their own thing, running their own lives as they would pre-cyclone. And we think that that's a very valuable role for the Pacific community. And of course, we're here in the long term. We'll be here in a year, in 2 years. Before I came to Fiji, I was in Vanuatu with the support to them as a result of Cyclone Pam almost a year ago. So whilst people might come and go, the Pacific community is here for the long haul.
Mm-hmm. So, talking about farmers here, who would be eligible to get this sort of assistance from SPC? Is it the SPC decides? Is it you are working with Ministry of Agriculture? Yeah, how it works?
We're very careful not to be the decider on who gets some and who doesn't. We have, as I say, we have 17 farms at the moment, and they will supply the seedlings. But we work very closely with the Ministry of Agriculture officials and the NDMO, Fiji government officials, and we would rely on them. They are the, if you like, colleagues that make decisions about how this is distributed. Ours is about supply, and in 6 to 7 weeks we want to supply another, as I say, over 200,000 seedlings. It's important. We're not talking about seeds, because seeds take a lot longer. We're talking about seedlings. These are already 6 weeks, 5, 6 weeks, so they're ready to be planted. We've also just visited the forestry project we have here in Nandi today, and the possibility of trees, seedlings for trees as well, is something that we're looking at.
So how crucial do you think this assistance could be to the farmers?
Oh, absolutely important. The point is, people don't like to be on handouts forever, unless you can avoid it. That's just human nature. They want to be independent, they want to look after their families. And we think that providing the seedlings, along with whatever else is being provided by the Pacific community and others, would help to get families, to get farmers back on their feet as quickly as possible. That's what we think is different from the point of view of the Pacific community. And obviously we want to acknowledge the support of the European Union. They've been funding this project for several years now.
Mm-hmm. So have you actually, as we speak, have you actually distributed any seeds or given to the government for distribution?
No, we have not, but as I mentioned earlier, we're talking already with the Fiji government officials about the distribution, because obviously they have the channels. But as I mentioned at the beginning, we have 45,000 seedlings ready to go now. So we have to work with our colleagues in the government, if you like.
So 45,000 seedlings now, and there's more to come. What would you estimate? How many farmers would perhaps benefit from this initiative? Would you have any rough idea about that?
I can't really comment on that. I mean, it depends. We're not envisaging big commercial farmers taking the bulk. It's more targeted at small farms and families and so on. I can't really say for sure.
Mm-hmm. So you said that this program has been ongoing. How successful has this program been all this while? I believe this is the 5th year, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I mean, if you talk to the farmers, one of them, as I said, was supplying 50,000 bags of roro for export. We went to a farm where traditionally the farmer was just producing cane. with the support that we provide and him provide growing vegetables and a very basic irrigation system, his income has gone up by threefold. So it's not a huge project yet, but as I say, we have at least 17 farmers plus another 5 who are benefiting from this. And remember, the nurseries that are supported would then provide beyond that as well. So, but I can't tell you exactly how many there are at the moment.
So have you had anything back from the government regarding this?
No, not directly to me, but we have a task force set up within the Pacific community, headed by a senior member of staff who's working very closely with the Fiji government officials, and that's the channels that we would use. We don't want to add to the confusion that can occur in these sort of situations. That's why we want to work very closely with the officials of the government.
So, how many farmers would have benefited from this initiative so far, since this is this project has been ongoing for quite some time now?
17 that we have active from Ba across Lotoka Nandi.
Right.
And we have one, and we have a presence in Lambasa. So 17 are active and have been supported for us. We have another 5 in the pipeline, so to speak, that we're talking with. But remember, they are suppliers. Yeah, they provide seedlings to other farmers. So it's not. We want to, if you like, have a greater impact by targeting the farmers who grow and produce and distribute beyond themselves. Obviously, they use some for themselves, but this is about a supply to other farmers.
It's usually the case after any natural disaster. There's a shortage of vegetables and prices go up. I'm sure this would be a great help in that regard, isn't it?
Yeah. So we talked last night about tomatoes, the price of tomatoes. The price of tomatoes is a fairly good indication of the supply-demand thing. Yeah. I understand the price of tomatoes is already creeping up. Normally, of course, immediately post-disaster, there'll be a glut because of the damage and people will use it. And then after a while, it'll get really bad. So that's why we think getting the seedlings out to people quickly would shorten that period when the supply is short. And that's our aim. That's why we think this project by the European Union and the Pacific community is really important.
What's the name of this project, sir?
It's called Improving Key Services to Agriculture. The concept was to try and get the farmers in the cane belt not just to rely on sugarcane, continue producing cane as they've always done, but the price of sugar is not fantastic. So the idea of the project was to help them diversify, if you like. And it's been reasonably successful, I'm told. As I said, I remember this conversation with the farmer who said his income increased threefold since he diversified. And in fact, he's thinking about taking more cane out and growing more vegetables. Obviously, that's a decision of the farmers. Our team just helps and supports the farmers.
Obviously, authorities, even the government, farmers practice or plant, have more crops. So I'm sure this would be a great help to them, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a small contribution to that process. Obviously, the Fiji government, they're distributing seeds, I'm aware of that. But this is our contribution amongst other things that the Pacific community is contributing to Fiji.
Anything else that you want to say?
No, just thank you for the opportunity to share the information with your listeners.
Pleasure to all of us, sir.
Thank
Thank
you
you so much.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.